DB, baby!
And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Broncos Stadium here at Mile High, as this afternoon the Denver Broncos are home once again.
Do what we do best. Compete at a very, very high level, you know what I'm saying? And doing that, we're going to execute, and we're going to get this done.
As the Houston Texans roll into town.
Click, clack!
The Broncos dropped to 3-6 on the year, another heartbreaking defeat, 19-17 against the Houston Texans. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Film Review. I'm Phil Milani, alongside Matt Boyer, Steve Atwater, Ray Crockett. Guys, let's just get your general thoughts. Ray, starting with you.
General thinking would be you have to find a way to win that game. I mean, the situation that we've been in the last 5 games has been tough, hard-fought games, but at some point, we have to become on the victorious side instead of saying we played them close or it was a good battle. No, somehow, some way, you have a way to win that game at home with your fans. You have to find a way to win it.
When you have a game like that, there are several plays throughout the game that you can look at and say, well, this could have gone differently, this could have gone differently. But when it comes down to the last play of the game, the great teams are able to make those plays, able to make those kicks in the clutch situations. And not saying we can't get there. We're not there right now, though.
Yeah, a lot of improvement. We saw a lot of fight. I think that Vance Joseph and John Elway this week have both said they liked the fight that the Broncos showed. And Jeff Hireman said it at the end in the locker room yesterday. This was about more than one play. This was about more than one kick. And I thought Steve just mentioned it. Some of the miscues in the first half, I think, ultimately came back to bite the Broncos.
A tough way to go into the bye week for the Broncos, and they were trailing right off the opening drive.
Watson looking to throw. Back of the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Thomas with his 3rd touchdown in 2 weeks.
Keenum, quick snap, throw. He sets up the screen. This is Booker. Booker has a blocker out in front of him, fumbles the football, and the Texans have it. That is only the 2nd fumble lost for the year by the Broncos. 5-man pressure. Watson bounces around, floats one towards the end zone, wide open, and the catch by DeAndre Hopkins, touchdown Houston.
Some of the plays that I might have missed, or some of the plays that we missed as a whole, it just wasn't good enough to get the win today.
Keenum steps away, throws the ball. He's got wide open Matt Lacoste down the east sideline. Lacoste over the 40, 45, jumps up into the air, and he's in Houston territory.
The handoff goes to Booker. Booker gets to the edge. He's got daylight, and he's got a touchdown. Good snap, good hole. Kick is on its way. End over end, and it is short to the right.
Snap placement, kick on the way, and this one is good.
At half, that's totally on me. I'm trying to be greedy and get 3 more points there, and it cost us 3. So
Broncos trailed 16-10 at halftime. Guys, let's talk about that decision right at the end, trying a 62-yard field goal. Vance said he was getting greedy.
You have to think as a coach, if we miss this, these guys only need really 1 first down, and they could gain 3 points. So the risk and the reward is what you have to think about. I don't think the risk was worth what the reward could have done either way for us.
And I think that all coaches, they got to have somebody that they really trust who can get in their ear in those crucial situations. Say, hey, coach, I know you want to do that. Let's just think about that. And not saying that he didn't have that, but, you like to see, I would have liked to see the team punt the ball at that time, and I'd like to see some of the other coaches possibly chime in to kind of encourage him to go that route.
I know Vance did say, I was greedy, I was chasing the points, and there are times when you have to do that. But, looking back on it, I think the Broncos may have thought, okay, pin them deep, let your defense get out on the field, and let's go to halftime.
The decision turned into a 46-yard field goal for the Texans, and those 3 points came up to cost them at the end of the game as they lost by 2 points. But, guys, let's break down the play a little bit earlier. The Hopkins play gets behind Justin Simmons. What did you see on that play?
Really, it was one robber. It was real simple in my eyes. I looked at it, was trips left. You have Justin Simmons, who's actually the robber guy. You want to show a 2-shell. You're trying to disguise a young quarterback in Deshaun Watson. And to be honest, I just think Justin Simmons froze. I just think he had a brain freeze. If you look at the way Adam Jones was playing, totally outside leverage, totally deep and outside. So that tells me that he has the outside of the receiver. Justin Simmons is coming down from a 2-shell, which he's supposed to be looking toward the trip side to the 2 inside guys. Whichever guy comes inside, shallow across, I take him. He becomes my guy. That's why you saw Adam Jones so irate at Justin Simmons, because he's like, dude, you have to take that crosser. You cannot it's Hopkins. Let's think about that. Yeah. It's the #1 option on the team. There's no way 3 guys should allow that guy to be wide open for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen this week after week, a little bit of confusion on the defense, some of the players not knowing exactly where they're supposed to be when the ball is snapped. And I think, just like you said, something happened in the middle of the play, and he got distracted and wasn't able to get in the correct position to be able to make a play, because he ran right to the area where he could have been in, and it could have been an easy stop, but didn't work out that way. Houston Texans capitalized on it and scored a touchdown.
And Steve, the #1 thing in the secondary is well, there's 2 things. First, it's IQ and communication. And on that play, both of those things were lacking. And if that happens, bad things are going to happen to you.
Broncos came back in the second half, fought hard, and actually took the lead in the third quarter.
From the 12, 3rd and goal. Keenum, middle of the field, in front of the needle. Touchdown Broncos! Hireman somehow got the football between 2 defenders.
Jeff's a great target, anywhere, inside the pocket, outside the pocket. Made some big plays for us on some crucial downs.
Play fake. Watson will be hit, and down he goes in the backfield. There's Von Miller. Now steps up in the pocket. He's grabbed and pulled down at the 19, and that is Bradley Chubb.
Good snap. The kick is on its way, and it is good. And the Texans retake the lead, 19-17.
Play fake. Keenum has Hireman in the flat. Hireman's got a first down. A 4th and 1 conversion goes for 3. Keenum in the pocket, hit as he throws, pass, caught! Sanders inside the 40! Keenum got blasted as he threw it! A strike, and the Broncos take a timeout.
To win the ball game, Brandon Mcmanus, a high snap, hold is good, kick is on its way, it is no good, and the Texans will hang on!
These guys, battle and gave myself an opportunity to win the game, and it was terrible. Like I said, I didn't even give myself a chance.
So the field goal goes wide right, and the Broncos lose 19-17. Guys, what did you think about the decision? We hear Vance Joseph say, hey, we got to the line we needed to, and so we just shut it down, played for the field goal. Would you have thought maybe be a little more aggressive there?
When you get to that point and you have 40 seconds left and you have a timeout, you have to go win the game. There's no such thing to me as shutting it down, because you have a kicker who's already missed 1 kick. So that could be weighing on his mind as well. Another thing is the wind was swirling in the stadium. They had their guy who missed an extra point. So you need to get as close as you can, and in that situation, we have to go win a game.
I kind of understand the coach's thinking on this. In past games, we've had these clutch situations, and we've either jumped off sides, thrown an interception, fumbled. All types of things have happened. So I understand that the coaching staff probably say, hey, this is a safe situation. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to throw an interception. I don't want to get my quarterback sacked. And we're good. Let's go ahead and kick it. Brandon Mcmanus is normally good from that area. So I do understand it. And I can't really say that I fault him for that. It's just that, hey, the great teams make those plays, clutch situations. Brandon McManus normally is a clutch kicker. He'll come up with those 9 times out of 10.
When he hit the field, did you think he was going to make it? Because Phil and I were standing next to each other. We thought this was it. Yeah. It was over.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I thought he was going to make it. I will say this, though. I saw him run off the field to go take some practice kicks, and so that would have shown me that he wasn't 100% confident. Because if he's 100% confident, stand in your spot and get ready to make the kick.
Yep. After the game, he said, "Hey, those are just a couple terrible kicks I had." And you see J.J. Watt gassed. The Houston Texans playing at altitude. Maybe you think the Broncos be a little bit more aggressive in that situation.
If you're looking at that defense from the line to the secondary was gas. You saw them gasping for. So that's when you go get aggressive and go win the game. That's what I feel.
Vance did say he was concerned about the ability for the Broncos to block the A-gaps with Paradis out, but I thought Valdir and Bowles on the edges played very well on Clowney and Watt. I would have had the confidence, but I do see the fact that when you've got a guy like Paradis out, it does make things hard from a decision-making standpoint.
Case Keenum probably played one of his best games this season. Definitely, in a Broncos uniform, looked good. Let's break down that play where he found Jeff Hireman for the touchdown. That was a laser right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and it was one of those plays where that's a throw that you've been counting on Case Keenum to make all year that he hadn't made. But what I do love is that Musgrave finally inserted the tight ends into the red zone. Those are the areas that we've been getting killed on our own defense. So I kept calling for 12 personnel, hoping to see 2 tights, and finally we came up with a play where stick the ball to the tight end. In this case, Keenum's throw is right in his vision. All those outside of the number throws, those are tough throws for Case and a guy that's 6 foot. But you give me a direct shot, and I can make something happen, and he did. It was a great throw.
That was a great play, a great call. Now, the defensive side of me comes out and say that linebacker there, he should have gotten in between the receiver and the quarterback, but he didn't. He was on top of him, and he was able to make that connection.
I think Hireman played one of his best games that we've seen him in a Broncos uniform. This was the guy that you had a chance to talk with John Elway this week. That's the guy that they wanted to see since they drafted him, and I think that this is kind of, he's shedding guys like out on the edge, oh man, it was great to see, and to see him make those catches in traffic. That was that next step, that next level that I know that the personnel.
Well, the tight end production in general was good. We had 2 tight ends that played really good. Yeah, Lacoste played well, Harmon played well, and I keep reiterating this. It's a copycat league. So if you've seen tight ends destroy our defense, sooner or later I would figure we would insert the tight ends, and hopefully they could do the same to another defense.
Matt Lacoste thought he could hurdle the
yeah, exactly. Hey, don't be jumping like that.
Love Matt Lacoste, but I mean, that was that. But you know, he made most of his opportunity. 1 catch, 44 yards.
And Hireman had 10 catches for 83 yards. Love the timing there too. Case throwing it before he even broke on that. Let's break down one more play on that 4th down to Emmanuel Sanders, setting up the field goal attempt there. That was a heck of a play by Emmanuel to get that safety to bite on it.
Yeah, it was a big-time play call, first and foremost by Musgrave, and it was a great call with Keenum, knowing that they were going to play 2 trail. That is most of the time. Defense is what they play when it's 4th down and 8 or more. When you're on the, at the end of the game, they go to 2 trail because they want a guy like Steve mentioned with the linebacker. They want someone in between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Emmanuel Sanders ran a great route. That circus route, look, he sold.
The head turn.
Yes, he sold the corner route. He sold the outlook, and he actually had the underneath and the over the top. He had both of them beat.
What do you think, Case stepping up into the pocket? That was a nice throw to deliver with the game on the line.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job of stepping up into the pocket, and that's what he's shown. You look at his film from when he was in Minnesota, he showed that same thing. He climbed the pocket. His film from the University of Houston way back when, he climbed up in the pocket. He takes some vicious hits, but he would get that ball to his receivers, and he did just that on that play in the clutch situation.
This is what we've seen from him early on in the season too. Remember the Seattle game? He fitted into that tight window along the sideline to Demaryius Thomas, and that was a pivotal play in that first game. So I think we are seeing him kind of get back to being Case. I think that's who Case wants to be, fitting into the tight windows, a little bit of improvisation. I think that him being able to do all of those things, I think will get him way more comfortable.
Right, and we mentioned IQ of football. That's the one thing that Case has normally displayed, and he displayed it on that play. If he throws that ball any earlier, 1, Emmanuel Sanders is not able to sell it, and 2, that DB gets a hand on it. So he knew he had to climb the pocket to give Emmanuel time to really display some coverage fake and then let it go at the last minute. So that to me was unbelievable on his part as well, knowing that I have to have the IQ to wait on this play to develop.
Could have been something special there. 2 4th down conversions, but then they missed the field goal. And the Broncos have to get back to work on a bye week before heading out to LA to face the Chargers. Only 4 teams in NFL history have started 3-6 and gone off to make the playoffs. Broncos will be the 5th team, right?
That's it. Number 5. Number 5.
No.
Come on, Ray.
I'm just playing. We're hoping that. It's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough because the strength of schedule, we have a very, very tough schedule coming out of this bye week. It's just really hard, Steve. You and I know how hard it is to go and prepare for those last games when you've had 3 or 4 tough losses. Yeah. But they needed this bye week, not only for the players, but for the coaching staff as well.
We look at it and say, all right, we still have another 7 games left in the regular season, but we got to take it 1 game at a time. And we can look at the schedule and say, man, we got a tough schedule. We still got to go. We got to face the Chargers twice, the Steelers, Cincinnati. Now
every week is tough.
Yeah, every week is tough.
Well, we'll see what they do after the bye week. That's going to do it for us, though. For Ray Crockett, Steve Atwater, Matt Boyer, I am Phil Milani. This has been the Broncos Film Review.